Welcome to Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. In this series, I will be tasked with defeating every villain in order, progressing from the core set to the latest release. The catch? I'm only allowed to use cards released up until that point. After defeating the villain, they each will be ranked in terms of their difficulty, determined by the cards available at the time. Tune in every Tuesday for new episodes of Marvel Rewind. What's going on, guys? It's Char here, back with another episode of Marvel Rewind, a Marvel Champions Retrospective Series. Now, in today's episode, we are starting the Mojo Mania Scenario Pack, which has us taking on Magog with none other than the second Wolverine, X-23 Laura Kinney. Let's get down to the table and see how it goes. Okay. So here we are down at the table. We are starting the Mojo Mania Scenario Pack. I have a few disclaimers for this whole section of scenario packs. As you can notice, maybe from the intro and the thumbnail and the title, we're playing an X-Force character against Mojo, and those definitely were not released by the time the scenario pack came out. So the first disclaimer, and I'll just get ahead of it now, every single Mojo villain is going to be taken up against, as far as I'm aware, with my current planning, is going to be against an X-Force character. So it'll kind of be like the X-Force are trapped in the Mojo kind of dimension. A couple of reasons for that. The main one is that there's a lot of villains specifically in Next Evolution that are straight up the nemesis sets of a lot of the Mutant Genesis Wave X-Men. And I felt like those would be way better thematic matchups, whereas the X-Force kind of, nemesis sets and whatever, they're like a little more like nebulous in my opinion. They don't really have like villains in the game in my opinion. Like if we look at X-23 here, like yes, she's a Reaver, but there's no really Reaver scenario. I know that it's a mod set in the game, but like Lady Deathstrike isn't really a villain, whereas what's it called? Storm has like Callisto as her nemesis, which is 1-to-1 like the Morlock Siege scenario and stuff like that. So I thought that this was definitely, we had to stretch a bit of the thematic boundaries and kind of like the timing boundaries of the series a little bit, but I think it's going to be for the best because it'll get us some really thematic matchups in the close, or starting with Next Evolution in the close of the mutant waves with Age of Apocalypse. The second disclaimer I have is I give this in all of these more recent videos, but this is around the time period in the game when there was a lot of, in my opinion, complexity creep. There's going to be a lot of things to keep track of, so I'm asking for a bit of grace if there is a rule mistake or anything like that, something minor, something major. The idea is I'm trying to play these scenarios to the best of my ability and the best of my knowledge. I will double check rules that I think are super important, but there will be things inevitably that slip through the cracks. I don't think anybody plays a perfect game of Marvel Champions, and even though I think it's good to strive to play as close to as intended as possible, I don't think it's something that I really need to just, worry about all the time while I'm playing. I'm going to do my best to play the scenario to the best of my ability with the rulings how I know them. But that doesn't mean you guys can't let me know in the comment section down below. If I mess something up, please feel free to go ahead and sound off down there. And yeah, so we are here. Let's go ahead, all that disclaimer out of the way. Let's talk about Magog here. So Magog is the first scenario in the Mojo Mania scenario pack, and he's a bit interesting. A lot of what Magog is about is you're kind of just racing him. So he has 10 per player hit points, and whenever you defeat him, you reset his hit points back to full, and you place 2 per player rating counters on the challenger's the challenger's environment. There's 2 environments that start in play, the challengers and the champion. The champion represents how much the crowd really likes Magog, and the challengers represent how much the crowd really likes you. And if you had any idea why I chose X-23 for this matchup, is because Wolverine is on the challengers, and X-23, especially in this alt-art, is wearing the traditional Wolverine outfit. So I thought it was the next closest. I think Wolverine had to start us off with Sabretooth. It's a much more relevant villain for him than Magog is, even though he's in this art. So let's go ahead and talk about Magog. So the whole thing is we want to go ahead and get ratings counters on our challengers environment, and once we get to 10 per player rating counters, which we're in solos, so it's just 10, we win the scenario. So that is how we win. If we look at his main scheme here, so we do Magog B if we're playing in expert mode. We have the Magog set, which is an extremely small set, and you'll notice that a lot of the Mojo sets are extremely small because there's so many modular sets included. And then the standard encounter set, which we have here along with our obligation, the standard and expert set. And then we get one random set aside modular set from the Mojo Mania scenario pack. So we're going to go ahead and choose that at the end, right before the cut, because I will go ahead and choose one, and hopefully it's a one and done attempt. Those are the ones that I strive for, but if it's not, I'm not sure if we're going to end up randomizing the setting environment. If I find that like I do multiple attempts with the setting environment, it just feels like, man, this setting environment is screwing me over really hard, maybe I'll switch it up, but we'll go ahead and decide that at the end. We're on X-23 here, but let's go ahead and do the rest of the setup. So setup says put the champion environment card and the challenger's environment card into play with the booing crowd side face up. And when we read his main scheme, it says the players cannot win the game unless they wow the crowd as the challengers. And as a forced interrupt when the scheme would be completed, place 2 per player rating counters on the champion and remove all threat from here instead. So essentially we can stay down a turn, but if he ever gets this to 6 and pops it, 6 per player and pops it, and then what will happen is that he gets his counters on him. He can also get counters through his forced response after he attacks and damages a character. He instantly gets 2 rating counters, which is pretty scary for sure. So let's go ahead and just roll this up and see which one we actually land on here. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll see which one will shuffle in and make the encounter deck. Okay, here comes the roll. 3. So it looks like we're doing Mojo in the middle, and this is a setting environment that says each obligation gains acceleration icon +1. This is the one that has like a trillion obligations in it. So this one isn't too bad if we do plan on taking a down turn on the first turn. So we'll go ahead and shuffle that in here. I think something that might be cool is that maybe we take out this one from the running if we defeat the scenario, so that when we get to Mojo, it's like all new. Like we get to represent every single one of the mod sets. But I'm going to go ahead and move all of these out of the way here. And yeah, that's going to be that. So then we can go ahead and continue the rest of his, get these out of the way, the rest of his setup here. Okay, so with those out of the way, we can go ahead and continue the rest of the setup here. So let's see where this looks best. Actually, we can do it probably right here. We can do, we can have the champion environments. Let's actually put Magog in the middle. I feel like I switch this up every single time I do Marvel Rewind, so bear with me. Got a bit of glare going on here. Okay, I think I kind of like this. We'll put this right here, and then we'll just keep shuffling up his encounter deck. So it starts off with a 1 per player threat on it. So let's go ahead and start that off at 1. And yeah, so the whole point is we start on the booing crowd side. Whenever these environments do end up flipping over, what happens is that we get an effect. So if his flips over, or if his flips over, I think we draw a card. If ours flips over, we get this big 7 health minion into play engaged with us that we have to deal with. But again, the whole point is that we do want to just kind of race down Magog here. I think I will take a down turn, maybe 1 or 2 turns in a row, because he did shuffle in for kind of like metagaming the encounter deck. He did end up shuffling in a lot of those obligation ones that are going to force us alter ego anyways. So it might be good. We also do want to try and stun lock him to the best of our ability, but it really just depends what we draw into here. So yeah, we will shuffle this up, and then we will start this. Usually I talk on X-23 is a hero where she does a lot of readying, she does a lot of self-damage, and she has a really high recovery stat. She starts the game with her claws into play, and she has an action to shuffle either Honey Badger or the Sisterly Bond event from the discard pile into the deck to draw a card. So she has a little bit of economy, especially if you spend those cards as resources. And then on her hero side, what she does is after she takes any amount of damage, she can ready up, limit once per phase, which can be pretty good to like use our defense stat and ready up. But also we don't really want to take damage in this scenario, because whenever he damages a character, not even just your identity, he gets ratings counters. So we want to play kind of a tempo-ish playstyle, but we still do want to try and build a little bit. We will see how it goes, but we'll go ahead and, set this to the side. And as always, we cut to the winning attempt unless the loss is super fast. So, all right, and let's go ahead and see how it goes. Okay, so we start on alter ego side. Let's go ahead and drop our 6 cards here. We are on aggression today, and the main reason why we're on aggression is mostly because we just want to deal a ton of damage here. Okay, so 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so I think this is a really good hand. 3, 4, 5, and 6. What I think we want to do is we want to play Psylocke and just confuse him, right? Let's just start locking down his activations from now. I think, yeah, we just play Psylocke, then we play Mockingbird, a stun and confuse turn 1 with 2 allies. I can't complain with that. Yeah, I think we're going to click it, so keep it. Our setup is put X-23's claws into play, either shuffle either the Hunting Badge or Ally Assisted Bond. We're not doing any of that, we're just going to play our hand as is. So let's spend 3 resources here. Let's go ahead and play down Mockingbird. We're going to use her response. When she enters play, we can stun an enemy. Let's go ahead and stun Magog here. Actually, I think we stay down and just let Psylocke... We'll use the first confuse, and then we'll use a second one when we have to flip back down. That'll be really good. We'll do... Oh, wait, we actually don't have the resources. I just realized. Do we... We can't just drop kick him? Is there any way... No, we just don't have the resources to play all of these cards. I didn't even realize that. I would have mulliganed a couple, then probably... I think we still just stay down with these cards. No, we'll flip up. I think we will keep these cards in hand. Maybe discarding drop kick. No, I'll just keep these. I think that's fine. We'll flip up here. I'm going to have Mockingbird go ahead and thwart for 1. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. We'll go ahead and swing on Magog for 1, bring him down to 9. And then we will use our action here. We'll exhaust our claws and take 2 damage. That's going to bring us down to 8 health. And we get +2 attack until the end of the round. And then we use our response here after we take any amount of damage readier. So we'll swing on him for 3, bring him down to 6 health. And I think we'll just ready up off of that. Yeah, and we'll drop 2 more. 1, 2. Okay, well, now it's kind of easy decision. I guess we could drop kick him and see what happens, but it's going to go up by 1. Magog isn't trying to attack us. He can't. He's stunned. We have an encounter card here. Defend the title. Magog attacks you. If a hero defends against his attack and takes no damage, place 2 rating counters on the challengers. There's no way we can take 0 damage from this, so I'm just going to let him hit us. So that'll be 2. So 3, 4, 5 damage here. We're going to go down to from 8 down to 3. And it says after Magog attacks and damages a character, place 2 rating counters on the champion. So this will go up to 2. So we're already losing the race a little bit, but the idea is that maybe we can build and get that back. Okay, that's back to us. So I think what we want to do is I think we're just going to spend 4 resources here. We're going to play down Psylocke. So when she enters play with 2 psionic counters on her, so let's go ahead and just display those like this. And when she attacks an enemy, remove 1 counter, confuse that enemy, and deal 1 damage. So we're going to have Psylocke go ahead and attack here for 1. And it says when Psylocke attacks an enemy as an interrupt, so it would have done before her damage, we're going to remove 1 of those counters and confuse him. So now we'll go ahead and confuse, what's it called? Yeah, we'll go ahead and confuse Magog here. So that's that. And he's down to 4 health. I think we'll keep the drop kick in hand because it's at a good 4, and this can go ahead and knock him out and stun him. Let's have Mockingbird go ahead and thwart for 1. Let's go up to 2. I think what we're going to do, we're just going to flip down and recover for 6. Go back up to 9 and ready up. Yeah, this should be really good, especially if we find the physicals to play the drop kick, which doesn't look like we did. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. All right. So this can go up by 1. Magog is going to try and scheme. He can. He's confused. An encounter card here. Stage fright. When revealed, you're confused. Place 2 threat on the main scheme. Place 4 threat on the main scheme if there are more counters on the challengers than the champions. So he's placing 4 threat on the main, which is crazy, up to 5. And I am confused, which is a bit tough. But I think we'll find a way to work through it. Okay. Let's back to us. So I don't know that I actually want to flip up. I think we might just end up holding the drop kick again. Kind of looking here. The X Mansion would be really nice, especially if we plan on flipping up and down over and over. I don't think we can hold the drop kick if we do that. Do I have other copies of it? Okay, I've seen all my uppercuts, but I haven't seen all my drop kicks. So actually, I think we can just choose to keep it. I do want to probably just end up staying down another. No, we'll flip up. No, if we can't stun him, then we really shouldn't flip up. Staying down is going to be our best bet. So what I think we'll do is... We will play, yeah, we'll have to play on the X-Mansion. I guess X-Mansion and Warrior Skill really is, or we can do Pain Tolerance. After you play an X-23 card, heal 1 damage. I think Warrior Skill might be better in the long run. Let's go ahead and play down X-Mansion as an alter ego action. We can exhaust it to heal 1 from a mutant or X-Men. Let's have Psylocke go ahead and attack here. She's going to do her when ability to do a psionic counter to go ahead and confuse Magog as an interrupt. So we're going to confuse him again. We're going to have Mockingbird. Yeah, I think Mockingbird just has to go ahead and thwart for 1 here. Hopefully he doesn't get another scheme or anything like that. If he does, it's not the end of the world. And let's spend these 2 resources to get down Warrior Skill, which is going to come in here with, what's it called? 3 counters on it. And whenever your hero attacks, you can remove 1 warrior counter from here. That attack deals 1 additional. And might as well just recover just to get back up to full because we're not going to flip up this turn. Oh, and then let's use our X-Mansion to heal 1 from Psylocke. All right, and then we'll ready up 6 more cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we do have damage here for sure. Let's see what we can do. This is going to go up to 5. Magog is going to try and scheme. He can't. He's confused. I have an encounter card here. Jolt of Adrenaline. Attached to Magog, he gains Retaliate 1 and Stalwart. So he can't be stunned or confused anymore. As a force response, after Magog's hit points are reset, place 1 per player rating counters on the challengers and discard this card. Well, good thing for us, he only has 2 health left. When Honey Badger attacks or thwarts, so it says Sisterly Bond. We can cycle a card here if we spend it first. Let's go ahead and spend these. Yeah, let's spend these 4 resources here. I have to go ahead and play down Wolverine. Its attacks gain piercing. After your turn begins, heal 1 damage from Wolverine. So I think Wolverine actually is going to take a consequential here because we're not defeating an enemy with Retaliate. It's after his hit points are reset. So we're going to have Wolverine go ahead and knock out Magog here. He's going to take 2 consequential and 1 Retaliate, leaving him at 3 damage. But we are going to reset his hit points here. So it says... as a force interrupt, when Magog would be defeated, reset his hit points to 10 per player. Place 2 per player rating counters on the challengers and deal each player a face down encounter card. So we're putting 2 rating counters here. And then we also get 1 more from Jolt of Adrenaline up to 3. And then what do we do from there? We want to make some progress on dealing damage to him, I think. Do we heal off Wolverine? Probably, right? Let's go ahead and heal a damage from Wolverine here. How much does he heal at the start? 2 damage. Let's spend these 2 resources to get down, I guess, Martial Prowess. We do want to just stun lock him from this point, if at all possible. So this will come in ready. And then we'll flip up. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and try and thwart here to break our confuse. And then we will use X-23 claws to ready us. We'll take 2 damage. So he should be at 10 here. Let's go ahead and hit him for 3. Bring him down to 7. And then let's have Psylocke go ahead and thwart for 2. Bring this down to 3. And that's going to be that. I think we have to ready up here. Okay. Draw up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So Nick Fury's pretty good here, even though we don't super love his block. He can find us kind of different cards. Okay, it's going to go up by 1. Magog is going to go ahead and attack us with a base of 3. Do we just take this? No, I think we need Psylocke to actually block it. We'll have Psylocke block this 3. Boost reveal this card after his hit points are reset. So he has 4 attack now. So we do want to knock him out this turn. So 4, Psylocke's defeated. Then it says after he attacks and damages a character, place 2 rating counters on the champions. It's going to go up to 4. 2 encounter cards here. First one, advance. So he's going to go ahead and scheme here with a base of 2. just 2, which sucks. If he didn't get that, this wouldn't have popped. This is going to hit 6. Then what happens is when the scheme is completed, you place 2 rating counters on here and remove all threats. So this goes down to 0, so you can go up to 6 counters. So if there's at least 5 per player rating counters, flip this environment over without removing. So it's going to flip over to the champion as a force response. After he flips to the side, each player draws a card. So we'll go ahead and draw a card here. Helicarrier. Then we have 1 extra encounter card here, which is under fire, so never mind. 2 extra. First one. Master plan. Place 4 threat on every side scheme. So now we're going to mill until we find a side scheme here. Does he have side schemes? He does. This comes in with 4. When revealed, if the champion is on the cheering crowd side, place 1 per player additional threat here. Okay, so it is. So this comes in with 5. When defeated, place 1 per player rating counters. Okay, so we get something when we defeat it and break a leg. You are stunned, take 2 damage, 4 damage instead if there are more rating counters on the challengers than on the champion. Oh, did I read that other one wrong? Oh, I might have read that other one wrong. Let me see. Place 2 threat on the main scheme. Place 4 threat if there are more counters on the challengers rather than on the champion. Okay, well, I can't really fix that, but that probably would have fixed our big threat issue. I mean, that really does change a lot, but we'll just keep playing it. So I'm stunned. You may place any number of rating counters on the champion to reduce the damage. No, so we'll take 2 damage here and get stunned, which kind of sucks because we want to try and burst him down here, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so that's back to us. So what we want to do is start off with 4 resources here. Let's put down Nick Fury. Oh, Wolverine heals 1 damage when my turn begins. He's going to draw us 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Adamantium lacing. +2 health. Yeah, we really want to try and knock Magog out, but it's pretty tough this turn. Trying to see what I would play with this hand. I think we have to flip down here and let him scheme. No, but like the scheme's gonna be pretty bad too. No, I think we still do have to do it. We want to just like set up for next turn. We can shuffle in a sisterly bond, so we can play like Hulk or like hand cannon and stuff. I think what we want to do is we want to attack first. That's gonna break our stun. Then we want to, yeah, because we can't really stay up. We really need to find these drop kicks, it feels like. So let's go ahead and use X-23's claws here to get +2 attack and ready up. We're going to go down to 4 health. So how much we have? 3 attack right now. I think we just want to thwart here. So let's go ahead and thwart, pump up the crowd, and let's use Animal Instinct. When I make a basic thwart, I guess +X to the thwart, where X is equal to my attack. I have 3 attack right now, so 3 + 2 is 5. Let's go ahead and clear off, pump up the crowd. When defeated, place 1 per player ratings counters on the challengers. So we want to try and do like a really big burst against Magog, in my opinion. Retaliate 1 in her basic attacks gain piercing. I feel like that's just not as good as getting down a hand cannon and Hulk, probably. So I think what we still do want to do is just start attacking Magog, though. So I think we're going to have Wolverine swing on him for 3. Just get him really low, down to 4. Because when we defeat him, we'll get 3 more on it. That brings us to 7, which will reveal this guy. How much does he give us? Prize contender gives us 2, so we need to do 17 more on that turn, or at least stun him, which I think is totally doable. We'll do 2 more to him with Nick Fury. He'll have the damage on him, but he's going to leave play anyways. Yeah, I think our play is getting down like a hand cannon and Hulk, and then just doing stuff with that. Let's go ahead and flip down here. Let's use our ability to shuffle in Sisterly Bond. And then draw a card. Because we do want to keep one of these in our hand, I think. I guess technically it would be better to keep. What's it called? Oh wait, I just shuffled my whole hand. Oh man, I did not mean to do that. It was hand cannon, lacing, and Hulk. Okay. I did not mean to shuffle my whole hand in. Alright. So let's shuffle up, and then draw up the card. Let's see, what is it? Professor X. Ooh, do we just completely pivot? No, I don't think so. I don't think we can use this confuse here. Oh boy, what do we keep? I don't want to play Hulk right now, so I'll spend these two and play down my hand cannon, and that's just gonna have to be it. We'll have Hulk in hand, and we'll ready up. Oh wait, we'll use X-Mansion to heal Wolverine here too, so he can activate again. And yeah, we'll just ready up, draw here, draw up 5 more, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, the drop kick is a really good find here, and we can pay for it completely, which hopefully that works out well for us. This is gonna go up to 1. Magog's gonna scheme for base of 2 here, just 2. So it's gonna go up to 3, and then we've got an encounter card. Obligation, alter ego action, exhaust your identity in each support you control, discard this obligation. Treat your printed text box as each support you control as if it was blank. So I can't use X-Mansion anymore. Each support. This is an upgrade, support. Treat the printed text box of each support you control as if it were blank except for traits. Exhaust your identity in each support you... Okay, so I don't really care about X-Mansion anymore. That's fine. We'll just have to push for the win here. So, yeah, we'll see how close we can get. I mean, he's pretty close, I won't lie, but let's see if we can get there. Alright, so... I need to look at how much health, how much damage I can deal. Because it's not guaranteed here, so... Oh, Nick Fury leaves play, which makes it even tougher, but Wolverine, after turn begins, he heals 1 damage. So let's shuffle in Sister... Oh no, Sisterly Bond is gone. And yeah, I have to play Dropkick in hero mode, which makes it a bit awkward. Do I heal or do I not? I think I have to heal. I don't think I have much of a choice. Just go up to 10 here. And we just gotta hope that he doesn't completely clear his counters, in my opinion. But okay, let's go ahead and flip up. Let's have Wolverine. I guess we don't have any better numbers than this. Let's just have Wolverine hit him for 3. It's going to go ahead and knock him out. So what's going to happen is when his hit points would reset it to 10. We'll place 2 rating counters here. And then deal each player an encounter card. So I don't really know. I just hope this isn't... Oh, the challenger's in the discard pile. So we deal everyone an encounter card. Force response. After the challenger's flips to the side, search for surprise contender and put it into play. Oh, wait. Does he have toughness? No, he doesn't. Okay, that might have changed what I did. So he gets put into play here. And then so 2 more goes on there. And then this is also going to get cleared, which is Surge of Aggression. So it's going to go up to 7. 7 counters on it. And now all we need to do is defeat both the surprise contender and Magog here. It says after surprise contender attacks and damages a character, place 1 per player rating counters on the champion. So we can actually... Oh no. I mean, it's really pretty tough to leave this guy alive. But we still do want to stun Magog here because his activation is worse. Maybe this draws us into something, but let's go ahead and spend our martial prowess here. And then these 2 resources, a fist and a mental, declaring it as a fist. We play a drop kick. We're going to deal 4 damage to an enemy. If we played only using fist resource, stun that enemy and draw a card. So we're going to deal 4 to Magog here. Bring him down to 6. We're going to stun him and draw a card here. Let's draw up into Sisterhood. Okay. Then what I want to do is... How much damage? We have 6, 5, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 completely, so we can knock out Magog 1 more time here. But we still need to be able to knock out the surprise contender, which I don't think we can do. So I think we'll deal the 6 damage into the surprise contender is going to be what we end up doing. Let's spend these 2 resources here. Let's play down Hulk. And we're just going to attack with Hulk into the surprise contender here. So as a force response, when he attacks, discard the card. A fist, which is super good here. Hulk has been coming in clutch on this series. After Hulk attacks, discard the top card of your deck. We can deal 2 damage to an enemy. Let's do it to the surprise contender. So he's going to take 2 and then plus 3 more from Hulk. He's down 5 damage on him. He only has 7 health. Then we will use our X-23 claws here to take 2 damage and give us +2 attack this turn. So we have +2 attack, and then we use our response after we take any amount of damage to ready. So we have 3 attack right now. We'll have 5 with the hand cannon, and then we can spend 1 on warrior skill to make it 6. So let's go ahead and let's attack surprise contender here. So that's 1, 2, 3. Let's use our hand cannon. It has 3 counters, so it'll go down to 2. When we make a basic attack, remove gets +2 attack and overkill. And then this is when your hero attacks, you can remove 1. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 damage into the surprise contender. He had 2 health left, which means 4 bleeds over to Magog here. So he is defeated. We place 2 per player rating counters on the challengers, which goes up to 9. And then he had 2 health left. We dealt 6. So 4 overkill into Magog, bring him down to 2 health. 1 here. As long as he doesn't super blow up his counters, we should be good to go here. We are pretty scared of, I think, this specifically. But what can we do? We just have to play it out. All right, we're going to draw up 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cool. Okay, this is going to go up to 4. Then Magog's going to try and attack us. He can't. He's stunned. 2 encounter cards here. First one, each encounter card gains peril. And this has an extra, extra encounter card icon and an advance. Okay, but I don't think he can scheme out. I mean, like, he can scheme out, but I don't think he can win. So this is just 1, base of 1, 2. So that'll pop this. It says when this scheme would be completed, place 2 per player rating counters and remove all threat. So Magog did get really close with that scheme. If he attacked and schemed, I think we were done for. But like I said, the sitcom felt like a really good mix for Magog specifically, because it just gets, it's not like extra activations or anything, and these obligations don't super matter. So yes, the champion's gonna go up to 6 here, and yeah, I think that's going to be that. Each encounter card gains peril. It says treat the printed text box of each support you control as if it were blank. Yeah, so we got really lucky on these 2 encounter cards specifically. It gave us some of that tempo we needed to just kind of finish out the game here. I mean, we have like a claw master. You can hit him for 3 ready. You can hit him for 3 ready, then hit him for 4 ready up. Then we could also hit him for 4 ready up, and then we'd have how much? 5 attack, 6, 7, 8. Hit him for 4, hit him for 8, and yeah, that would be the end of that. I mean, it's gonna heal. Well, let's just play it out. Let's just see Hulk. Let's see, Hulk attacks him for base of 3, 5 damage. So actually, it would have done 2. It would have done 2, right? Is it when or after? After he attacks. Okay, so it would have done 3. It would have knocked him out down to 10. We would have gotten 2 more counters, bringing us to that fateful 11, and then he would have dealt 2 more damage to him down to 8. Wolverine would have healed the damage. We would have done then we don't actually have enough for the drop kick, which I think is okay. So you could just throw puncture wound on him, have Wolverine hit him for 3, bring him down to 5, and then Wolverine would have been defeated. We could have done like a claw mastery, I guess, to give her 3 attack. We'll do 3, 4, 5, knock him out. That would have been 2 more counters, bring us up to, what is it, 13, and then counter card, and then 10, and then what would we have had? We could have readied off our claws, and then done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 with the warrior skill. Yeah, that would have been that. Okay, that was fun. This is exactly how I expected the deck to go, so hopefully there wasn't any major misplays or anything. But yeah, Magog, he is not easy. You saw how close he got. These extra encounter cards I don't think he gets on standard. No, he does. But yeah, these extra encounter cards are no joke. We did get a pretty fortunate, I guess, mill early off Master Plan. We got rid of like exhaustion and stuff, which could have been bad, and we also didn't find Shadow of the Past. So obviously there was somewhat ideal conditions, but we also put more thread than we needed to, so I think it kind of evens out. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the deck list. Okay, so here I am at the table with the X-23 deck. Now, I revisited X-23 somewhat recently, so unlike a lot of the Marvel Rewind characters that I end up playing, this one is still pretty fresh in my mind. It's a similar story with a lot of the heroes that I end up playing, where it didn't really get it the first or second time around playing her, but now after playing her a couple more times, I get it. I think X-23 is really awesome, and according to like the pub meeple ranking, she's one of the highest rated heroes in the game. I think for good reason. I think she has so many fun and unique and interesting builds. She has a very kind of malleable kind of hero kit because she has this Captain America-esque ready up once per turn. Her claws, when she does the ready by taking 2 damage, she gets +2 attack, and then after she takes any amount of damage, she can ready up onto her phase. So she goes really well if you want to go to really ready heavy builds along with her signature ally. Her cards are just like really good too. I mean, she has like really good healing. She has Claw Mastery to give her extra stuff. Pain Tolerance helps her refund all the HP she's spending. Puncture Wound is very strong in terms of just lowering attack for the round, especially in multiplayer. Animal Instinct to help her with some thwarting. She has a 1-cost resource generator that's kind of like Venom's passive. We have, Adamantium Lacing to give us piercing. She just is like really good all-around character that I feel is pretty malleable for most of the aspects in the game. When we look at the kind of scenario we brought her up against, Magog, of course, because Wolverine was on the challengers, and I thought this is kind of like the next best thing to doing that. And Magog is kind of tempo heavy. You kind of do want to rush him down, but if you can control his activations in solo, he isn't too bad. That would be funny to show the last 2 encounter cards we would have gotten if we didn't actually defeat or get enough counters on the champions. Would have been 2 attack activations, which basically meant we would have instantly lost in the scenario. So that I just thought was kind of funny to include. But let's talk about the deck list. This isn't anything special or crazy. Like I said, we were trying to limit the amount of packs we're using, and even though we did have to dip into Hulk specifically for, I think, Dropkick and Martial Prowess once again, I felt like it made a ton of sense. We needed to lock down his activations because if we let him attack, we just wouldn't have had any way to stop him from putting the counters on. We would have had to stay Alter Ego the whole game, and you saw he definitely has a couple ways to punish you sitting in Alter Ego. Let's start with the basic cards. We're on X-Mansion and Helicarrier. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know why I kept X-Mansion in this deck, mostly because I guess I could use it and some of my allies could use it to heal up and get extra activations. But after we flipped up, we didn't really want to flip down. I mean, if we didn't get it confused, we could pretty safely, I would say, quote-unquote, flip down. Yeah, I don't know why I included this card, but it was fun, and it did actually work out. It got Wolverine a couple extra activations. It got Psylocke extra activations, so would I remove it? I mean, I don't know. I think it did well. Helicarrier is another one of those, even though we're playing kind of like a fast tempo-ish deck, not necessarily rush. This is in here in case on the opening hand we found it as a good card to play, and then maybe another card just to help us with the rest of the cards we played throughout the game. We're on our 4 allies. Again, the 2 core box goats, and now these are like the 2 mutant Genesis goats, especially if you're playing mutants. We've got Professor X here, we've got Mockingbird. This is a confuse on the villain, this is a stun on the villain. Nick Fury, the best ally in the game, lets us draw or deal damage or thwart, and then we've got Colossus here, who lowers his costs by 1 if you're a mutant or X-Men, and just comes in with a tough, which I'm not going to say this 100%. I'm not sure how this interacts with Magog after he attacks and damages a character. I don't know if it has to take the damage or you have to deal the damage, but I think Colossus could buy us an activation against Magog. Don't quote me on that. We're on our 3 basic doubles, Genius, Energy, and Strength here, and then the 2 red doubles, the Power of Aggression with the, X-Men art on it. Then we move on to our red allies here. We're on Hulk, who consistently shows up in Marvel Rewind. I feel like he's been on the channel with in the past 10 episodes. I think he's swung every time he's been on the board. I don't think he's missed a Fist Resource 1. So for me, Hulk is like 2 for how many activations in that? 2 for 25 damage. For some of you guys, he might be 2 for 3 damage and then blowing himself up with a mental. It's just kind of the luck of the draw at the end of the day. We're on Wolverine here. It's just a really great ally, and the piercing is really good for getting through those toughs. And also as a response, he heals himself when your turn begins. So like I was using the X-Mansion to kind of shuffle or like heal him up. He's able to get multiple attack activations for 3 and a block if we needed it just in case. Psylocke here was also really good to start with. When Psylocke attacks an enemy, you can remove a counter from her. She comes in with 2 counters and then deal 1 damage and confuse that enemy. Really, really good there. Let us stay down safely for a couple of turns while we were building a bit. These are my 3 one-of upgrades. We're on Now I'm Mad, which is just if my health point is less than half my starting hit points, I get an extra attack and 1 less thwart. If I had Honey Badger out or some assortment of ways to ready up, this could have been really good. Bringing our base attack to 2, the Claws bringing us to 4 for the turn, and then Claw Mastery maybe bringing us to 6. I mean, even 2 activations completely wipes, or even like 1 for 4, 2 damage, go up to 6 attack, 1 for 6. It completely knocks out Magog and gives us 2 counters, which is really, really good. Combat training is a similar reason, just bumping up our attack stats so we can do more activations because we do ready a lot. And then martial prowess here is specifically to help us hit the drop kickers more reliably because the stun was pretty important. Getting to, I guess we'll finish up the upgrades actually. We're on 2 hand cannons here. I know that, especially because I didn't know which Mojo and counter set we would do coming in. I know some of them have a lot of minions, so the overkill could help us get really good numbers and not waste any of the damage on our basic attacks and just give us a little extra damage. We're on 2 here because I thought it was pretty good, so why not? We're on also 2 copies of Warrior Skill. This one's pretty versatile. When your hero attacks, you can remove 1 Warrior counter from here. That attack deals 1 additional damage. Just a way to save up damage when we need those specific numbers to like knock Magog over or deal overkill on a surprise contender or whatnot. Pretty good there. And then last but not least, let's round it out with our events. There are 3 Altar drop kicks, 3 cost. 4 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this card using only fist resources, you stun the enemy and draw a card. Super good, and we want to stun lock Magog because that's his easiest way of putting down ratings counters on us and kind of, you know, speed running to a win, so to say. And then our last card of choice here, we've got 3 uppercuts, the core box, 3 cost, deal 5 damage to an enemy. When your health is only 10 per player on Magog here in solo, 3 for 5 is actually pretty decent because that's literally half his health bar. It can deal a good chunk to the surprise contender and whatnot. So yeah, that's essentially the deck list here. It was a ton of fun to play through this. I was kind of getting a bit worried near the end there, but luckily those obligations from the sitcom set really helped us get our tempo back and find that win. But let's go ahead and see where Magog stacks up for the rest of the villains in Marvel Champions. I'll see you there. Okay, so here we are at the villain tier list. Now this one is interesting. Again, always say that phrase, but it really is. Magog is tough. I think he's a bit unassuming on the surface. You see, 10 per player hit points, that's nothing. And you see the rating counters, you're like, oh, he has to get to like, 10, that's almost nothing. And also he has no steady, he has no stalwarts. It's like, oh, I can kind of like stun lock him and really, take advantage of him. And I think a couple of these are pretty true. Magog doesn't start off with a lot of tempo in his favor. He just starts with 1 threat on the main and kind of this looming threat of his alternate win condition of essentially getting to his counter max. That being said, he has other ways of killing you. A 3 base attack set is really, really tough, and he can honestly surprise you with like a double activation, and if you are not prepared or have a hero with good defense, he can straight up just knock you out. He has extra activations in his kit. He has extra activations from the standard set, so that's not something to play about. Also, there is a bit of like a tempo swinging back and forth. When his counters are ahead of yours, you get a little bit of a bump by drawing 1 card, but when yours, it's not necessarily ahead, but when yours kind of hit that 5 threshold in solo specifically, you get the surprise contender to deal with, which is means you have to play smart around this scenario. When you hit him to those 5 counters, you need to have a plan for the surprise contender, because if you let him activate against you, he's like a mini Magog. If he deals damage to a character you control, he puts 1 on the environment, and when Magog deals damage to a character you control, he puts 2 on the environment. And that's the big thing. You really need a plan going into Magog. For solo specifically, you are able to kind of stun lock or confuse lock him somewhat well, as long as he doesn't hit the stalwart one early, or if he hits it, you are able to knock him out that turn and continue the lock going. But if what's it called? Yeah, and those are like really good tried and true strategies, but the fact you have to rely on those tried and true strategies is kind of a bump in his favor. Now, I think my bias for multiplayer might be getting in the way. I think he's a lot harder in multiplayer because he has so many 3 attack activations going out, and if any character deals damage or takes damage from it, he puts counters. So you can't even like chump block, or like chump blocking protects your HP, but it doesn't protect you from the counters. There's no really ways to remove the counters. It is a traditional race. You have to beat him down. You have to get rid of his side schemes or beat on like his minions and whatnot, the surprise contender and whatnot, and you have to knock them out to race him for the audience to fall in love with you, which I think is really fun and thematic, and I think he's a super fun scenario. But translating that into difficulty is hard. When we're looking at kind of the villains in this game, I think specifically if we're talking solo, I could see him. I know it's a bit hard to see here. We've got Venom and Red Skull at the end here. I could see him between like the top of A or the bottom of B. He seems kind of similar to a He's actually very similar to like a Sabretooth, I would say. The ways that you beat both of these guys is kind of like you don't worry about the threat on the main. You want to try and like get a big advantage or rush him down, or like control his activation so Sabretooth doesn't heal, and then for Magog's case, he doesn't get counters on the raiding environment. They have a very similar cadence where if you can build against Sabretooth and have a good time, Magog, it's a bit, I'd say, maybe less consistent because he will have that surprise container that comes out eventually. And he puts you on a timer in kind of like a different way than Sabretooth does. It's not necessarily through healing, it's through him. Sabretooth puts you on a timer because like the healing and the damage he does to Robert Kelly gives you a lot to answer for. But he also gives you ways to ready up based off of that with like the environment once you save Robert Kelly and whatnot. Magog isn't that way, and he has a lot of variability in his encounter deck because of the Mojo set. I think I could comfortably probably put him above Sabretooth here. I think they're very similar scenarios in the ways you approach them in solo specifically. But maybe I'm way off the mark and you guys are, no, Magog is super easy, should be in C tier. Or maybe you're like, no, he's super hard, he should be in A tier. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comment section down below. That's going to be it for me. Next week, we're moving on to Spiral. And I haven't decided if I'm going to take out previous kind of Mojo sets we used in the older scenarios or not. We will see, but probably not. I don't know. It depends. I'll see how my Spiral setup is and if it makes sense for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a like down below if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.